Welcome to Dungeon Brew, folks. Today is more of an in-depth video into dragons. I've done a number of shorts discussing chromatic dragons, and today I'm going to talk more about them in greater detail. I'm going to go through each type of dragon and give you an example encounter to get a sense of how to use them, so stick around and we'll get to it.
Welcome to Dungeon Brew.
Let's kick things off with white dragons. These are the most primal and ferocious of the chromatic dragons. They are not the smartest dragons, but they are by no means stupid. What they have is an animalistic cunning that makes them incredibly dangerous. Social encounters with white dragons are brief and tense. They are easily offended and hold grudges, valuing strength over conversation. A gift or a show of strength might be the only way for a party to avoid a fight. In combat, white dragons use their environment to their full advantage, ambushing the party from beneath the snow or swooping out of a blizzard. Get creative with this. Allow them to hide under a frozen lake or something, only to break the ice as the party passes over, and then refreezing it with their breath weapon as the party falls below it. They'll pick off the weakest members of a party first, the same way that a lion targets the weakest or slowest member of a herd. Usually they will snatch up a meal and leave because they are interested in food and survival, unless they have a grudge to settle. Surviving a white dragon encounter means the party needs to be prepared for extreme cold, and having strategies to counter their hit-and-run tactics.
You are traveling through the frozen tundra, seeking a lost artifact buried beneath the ice. As you approach the glacier, the temperature drops precipitously. The wind stirs, blowing snow that obscures your vision, leaving you and your allies blinded. You hear only the crunch of your companions' feet across the snow as you all trudge forward. You have been wary, cautious, careful of what is coming, but you could not expect what comes next. Suddenly the ground shifts. You hear the cry of "Avalanche!" But you know better. Glittering ivory scales fill your vision as a white dragon bursts from the snow behind you, snatching your guide in its icy maw. You scramble, trying to pull free weapons now bound by frost. A flash of fire from one of your compatriots streaks towards the dragon. It beats its wings, creating a whirlwind of snow, blinding you all again. When your vision clears, the dragon is flying away toward the top of the glacier, your guide clutched in its jaws. Suddenly, you have no doubt where your artifact is.
Next up, we have blue dragons, the master strategists of the chromatic family. These dragons are all about long-term planning and patience. They view other creatures as either servants or food, nothing really in between except for other dragons, which they view as threats to be eliminated. When interacting with a blue dragon, your players will need to be careful in navigating their pride. Flattery can go a long way, but stepping out of line can result in a brutal return to reality. They are used to dealing with underlings and don't tolerate sarcasm or mockery. In combat, blue dragons prefer to attack from a distance. Similar to white dragons, they use the environment to their advantage, employing sandstorms, sinkholes, storms to confuse or wear down their enemies. Blue dragons will burrow under the sand, using their movement to track the party, snatching them up and dragging them under to suffocate on sand. They're experts at tactical retreats, striking when least expected, again during storms or something, or even just in the middle of the night. The dragon watches from a distance and uses other creatures in its realm to wear down the party or weaken them before beginning its assault. These encounters are all about endurance and outsmarting a highly intelligent foe.
Your party is crossing the Shalinar Wastes, a necessary and unavoidable trek as they seek to reach the lands on the other side. The dune desert divides the continent in two, and to travel around would take months. The sun is high in the sky, and ahead is an outcropping of rocks that are the only shelter you have seen in days. You approach carefully to ensure that the potential haven is not already occupied. Your care was wise, as a number of sand scorpions suddenly emerge. It seems you have disturbed a nest. Dangerous, but you and your allies manage to handle yourselves well enough. In your distraction, you do not hear the silent wings of the dragon coasting down along the warm air currents. its blue scales hidden in the blue of the sky. A line of lightning blasts through your companions, leaving you reeling. Several scorpions lay charred on the sands, and so too does one of your companions. In the distance, you make out the dragon circling, coming in for another pass, just as more scorpions emerge from their nest.
Alright, on to black dragons, the cruelest of the chromatic dragons. They are sadistic and enjoy causing pain and fear. They see all other creatures as being potential victims, using intimidation and threats to keep other creatures cowed. Social interactions with black dragons are uncomfortable. They'll toy with their prey just for fun and say terrible things just to see what reactions they'll get. Black dragons thrive in swampy environments, using the murky water and dense foliage to their advantage. They love ambushes, striking from beneath the water or from obscured vantage points. Hopefully you're noticing a pattern here. A black dragon acts like an intelligent crocodile, staying submerged and snapping at lingering adventurers beneath the murky waters to drown them. And if things don't go their way, they'll retreat and return when they have the upper hand. Combat with black dragons should be like a horror movie. Players must deal with the psychological warfare, stealth attacks, and an environment that's constantly working against them.
Your party ventures into an inimical swamp, following rumors of where a number of lost villagers had disappeared to. Rumors of haunting voices in the trees, glowing eyes in the dark, and some great beast have piqued your interest, along with a sizable reward. The air is thick, with the smell of decay, and visibility is poor. You wade through the murky waters, knee-deep, waist-deep. You hear a voice in the murk.
So persistent.
The water feels strange, begins to burn.
Keep coming.
The fog intensifies, acrid, causing you to choke. You can hear your companions coughing behind you.
So hard to breathe.
You are searching for the voice, but the fog is so thick you have lost your sense of direction. Your legs are burning from the water. Your lungs are burning from the air. You call out to your allies and only hear a deep, sardonic laughter. Something moves. The fog billows around you. The water swirls. Great green eyes rise from the murk in front of you. Suddenly, you realize you are alone against the dragon.
Alright, green dragons are the ultimate manipulators and deceivers. Picture the sneakiest politician you can think of, and you've got a green dragon. They gather info through diplomacy, fake weakness, espionage, or intimidation. Social interactions with them, think flattery mixed with a heavy dose of deceit. Your players might find themselves spilling secrets or walking into traps just because the dragons seem so convincing. Their goals are usually multifaceted, and they delight in outthinking their opponents. Of all the dragons, they are least likely to strike out at insults, preferring to take their vengeance in more creative ways. Combat with green dragons is all about patience and strategy. They love stalking their prey in dense forests, using the terrain to their advantage. Again, their poisonous breath can be a real game changer, especially when they ambush from underwater. They don't brute force like a white dragon, and they don't delight in fear and pain like a black dragon. They're looking for information and any advantages that they can manage.
Your party enters an ancient forest, following clues that lead to a hidden elven ruin. There are rumors of ancient treasures buried therein, but you are forced to hire a sage to guide you through the myriad of strange and dangerous riddles, all in some ancient language none of you speak. Your elven guide has been with you for several weeks, translating ancient elven scrolls and carvings, leading you through the thick brush to location after location, closing in on the treasure. The guide is full of questions, learning about what treasures you are seeking and where, while spinning tales of his own life and treks through these lands. One evening he is gone. Unable to find any sign of him, you continue to where you believe the ancient treasure was, only to find that it is all gone. Months pass as you try to unravel this mystery before putting together the clues that lead you to believe that you are the victim to the machinations of a green dragon.
Finally, let's talk about red dragons. They are all pride and aggression. They demand respect and submission, and they've got the tempers as well as the sheer power to back up those demands. Socially, dealing with a red dragon can be as dangerous as fighting one. One wrong word and you might find yourself melted into your shoes. Creating reasons to navigate a social encounter with a red dragon can be rewarding. Forcing your players to get creative in a bargain with a powerful megalomaniac is never not fun to watch. Red dragons generally approach combat in one of two ways. They either are after absolute destruction for the offense of their pride. They will crush any creature that stands against them and will not stop until they're dead. Or they're toying with inferior beings as they take malicious delight in watching the suffering of those who deem themselves worthy to engage their might. Because of their pride, they're more likely to make mistakes assessing the threat another creature poses to them. However, they are far from stupid. The moment they realize the strengths of their enemies, they will either change tactics, targeting the most dangerous opponent, or they will retreat to re-engage on better terms.
Your party climbs an active volcano, seeking Corva, the Flame Queen. You have already faced her once, but she fled to her lair. Here. Perhaps fighting a dragon in her own lair is foolhardy, but it is only a matter of time before she hunts you down. Red dragons do not like being bested. In the final steps, you and your allies begin casting your protective magics, consuming potions, and preparing your gear. With a deep, sulphurous breath, you move forward. The caverns leading in are twisted and narrow. You know her own entrance is impassable through a lava flow. An hour passes as you overcome traps, pitfalls, and twisted mazes before you see the main chamber and her sparkling hoard. You hear her roar before you see her, and her breath erupts over you. Many of you avoid the worst of it, but then you realize the inferno melted much of the volcanic glass on the floor, which is quickly hardening and fixing you in place. As you struggle to break free, she tears into the side of the cavern, releasing a lava flow to pour over you. Now, it is only a matter of time.
Alright, so I hope that you picked up a few things from this video. Dragons use their environments to their advantage. Dragons almost never fight to the death if they can avoid it. And dragons are clever, and they fight with well thought out tactics. Let me know what you think. What things did I miss? What is your most memorable dragon encounter? And if you like the video, learned something, or just want to support the channel, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.
Judge and Brew.